room. I guess we're gonna have to brew a little more of black juice to get you guys caffeinated and going. For those joining me via Zoom, I have a very lovely panel of people here today that join me in person. We just finished our 100 Day to Greatness class, and some people are still here and decided to stay to watch me. And all of you watching me via Zoom, pleasure to see you all. If I haven't told you Happy New Year already, Happy New 2025. So like always, my sessions are very simple. My sessions are focused on a motivation because I say motivation is like a shower. We need one every day. Don't you shower every day? Apparently not everybody showers every day. So we're going to have to put that into account. So we are going to talk about motivation, then we're going to talk about the market, and then we're going to talk about something that can make us productive for the rest of the week. So, talking about motivation, energy, and our industry is a very tough industry. You're always getting stuff thrown at you. You're in sales, right? So when you're in sales, you're always getting stuff thrown at you. So you need to trick yourself and motivate yourself to keep going, because after so many encounters, if you don't have that hard mindset, you're gonna just give up, right? And I know I'm not surrounded by people that give up. So why don't we all stand up? Why don't we all stand? Let me try that again. Why don't we all stand up? And everybody in Zoom, they're all standing here. So you see? Okay. So why don't we stand up? Let's close our eyes and let's just breathe for 4 seconds. Why don't we all stand up, close our eyes, right? And we're gonna, but before we start breathing, I want you to focus on one thing business-wise that you wanna get accomplished this year. One thing. That's it. Let's try it. Okay, so we all visualize that one thing, right? So you need to have a mindset of that what you're going to get accomplished. Otherwise, we're not gonna get where we're going to get. That comes up. You can sit down. They were all standing, everybody. So everybody was still standing. We need to make it a habit or write down what is our goal for the year, but more than anything, what is our goal for today? What do we want to get accomplished today? What is our to do for the day? And it works. You know what works better when you have a to do for the day? When you share it with the person next to you and you tell them what you want to get accomplished for the day. So that way, when I see Cruz at the end of the day, Cruz is going to ask me, hey, did you do X, Y, Z? And if I did it, I'm going to say, no, I didn't get to it. I couldn't get it done. And then Cruz is going to say, don't worry, tomorrow we can probably get it done. But it works very well if you have a partner. So these two young ladies here in the front are working together as a team, right? And they're keeping each other accountable, right? So how's that going? Good. Okay. That's good. Good. It's tough. So if we write down our goals, if our why is strong enough, we're gonna get through what we need to get through. One of those things that we gotta get through, and I'm gonna break down on the 2020, and I know some of you have heard me say 2020 for a while, and then some of you are gonna hear for the first time. One of those key messages that you can do to take control of your production for the day is to have 5 conversations. That's part of your 2020. 5 conversations minimum with past clients. Not 5 dials. Now that I dialed 5 people, I had 5 conversations with past clients. I know that it's very easy to procrastinate and put that to the side. But when you're talking to a past client, it's not a cold call. It's not an abrasive call. It's someone that interacted with you, knows you, remembers you. So they will be very happy to hear from you. The next one, the next exercise that I'm not gonna ask you to do, so don't go crazy, but I want you to do when you're not here with me every morning after you call those 5 clients or in between those 5 clients, right? Is stand up, right? for 30 seconds, stretch out your arms, and do jumping for 15 seconds. See, Adriana knows what I'm talking about. Now, do you know why you do that for 15 seconds with the arms turned down? Can anybody? And energy does what? Releases what in your brain? Endorphins. And what does endorphins do? So even if you're doing 5 calls and it's too hard because client number 2 hated you, stand up, stretch out your arms and do for 30 seconds and do 15 seconds of jumping. I know it sounds crazy, but you know what you got to add to that? You got to trick yourself and you got to tell something which is not a lie, which is the truth. They all of you are unstoppable when you decide to get what you want to get accomplished. So as you're doing those 15-second jumps, scream, I'm unstoppable. If you're doing this from home, your significant other is probably going to look at you like you're crazy or it's going to applaud you. So both are good. The key to motivation is taking small steps. Nobody became successful overnight. Everybody takes little steps, but we got to take the steps daily and celebrate every single win you have every day. Don't just wait to say, I'm going to celebrate by closing. No, if you complete all your tasks for the day or you think none of those tasks were productive, be happy. Be thankful that you accomplish all the things that you wanted to get accomplished. This is your year. 2025 is gonna be your year. Every metric, everything real estate wise is pointing, and I'm gonna go into that now, into making 2025 not what 2024 was. 2024 was what the black swan of real estate. There were too many things that came up all over, and it was just whenever you overcame one, you found another. You were in the Titanic plugging holes, and no matter what hole you plug, another hole opened up. But 2025 is not sure, it's not looking to be that kind of a year, right? So what do I mean by that? So the mortgage market is finally beginning to stabilize. What happened back there? So the mortgage market is finally beginning to stabilize. The little bump that we have right now, don't focus on that bump because that bump it has to do with a lot of political stuff that's taking place. But mortgages are looking to be heading to the right direction for 2025. Now, what is the right direction? To me, is the low sixes because that is the average mortgage. Actually, average mortgage is the 7, so that will be below average. That is what the average mortgage rates are for the US when you go back 40 years. If you're still encountering dreamers thinking about 3%, those are dreamers. Those are people that should have, taken advantage where they can. So the average, this came out by the National Association of Realtors. It came out by the National Mortgage Association. It came out from all the big talking heads in Wall Street. Everybody's forecasting mortgages to hit low sixes beginning next month. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the questions at the end. Inventory, everybody's forecasting, and not me, I'm forecasting higher. Everybody's forecasting an inventory increase in South Florida of 11.7%. I'm higher than that. But that's been tracking the South Florida data, that's what I'm saying. The reason that I say that that's higher is because a report just came out on Friday that all of the amount of listing appointments being requested this year, right, is 20% higher than any other year. And we only, 15 days into the month, right? So we're having more sellers that are going to come into the market. Now, all of those sellers are what? Buyers. Every single one of these sellers are either move up buyers or downward buyers, but they are all buyers. They waited, and they realized that the market is what it is, the rate is what it is, so they just want to go ahead and take advantage of purchase the house that they want to. So Realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin, all of these people came to a conclusion about 11.7%. If you want to hear what my projection is, you're going to have to join me next week at the association when we do the presentation. But I'm thinking we're going to be a little bit higher than that. The only market that is not being affected, if you were here last Monday with me chatting, is the luxury market. The luxury market, and not only in South Florida, the luxury market throughout the US is thriving. Why? Because the people that had money are making more money and they're taking advantage of buying second, third, fourth, and fifth homes, luxury homes. In South Florida, we have close to a 17% increase in sales volumes in properties over $5 million last year. That is unheard of. That is truly unheard of. But it looks like this year is going to be the same. So I'm not telling you to shy away from luxury properties. If and maybe you want to partner up with someone, you want them to talk to the person next to you or the person next to you. But this the luxury market looks like it's going to keep thriving and growing, especially in South Florida. There's 30 new buildings in construction just around the Brickell area. 30. So AI is making really, really big changes on everybody's life. I'm not going to ask you in Zoom to raise your hand, but right here, who's using AI on a daily basis? No? Just using it? Anything you're writing, anything you're consuming, you should be, for your listings, for your remarks, for anything. Yeah. I will say start with a free account. Don't become a subscriber, but begin to play with it because it's truly a great tool for anything. One secret that I just shared with the Aventura off with the core, with the Boca office that I'll share with you. If you have any of you have a paid subscription? Two? Okay. So when you have 2 minutes, and all of you that are gonna get a paid subscription, when you get 2 minutes, upload things that you have written or videos that you have done and tell her from now on when I ask you to write something as me, I want you to research my previous content. So then instead of writing that robotic way that it writes, it's going to look at all your videos, it's going to look at everything you have written, anything and everything that you have written, and it'll begin to write and act like you. So then it looks a little bit more like you. Hmm? Huh? So you upload your videos, you upload anything you have written. You can anything you have written your whole life. It doesn't have to be just real estate. Things that you have written, you can upload your social media content and say, from now on, when I ask you to write as Adriana, I want you to use this as a reference. So then it will begin to act as you. So it's a very cool trick not to sound like a robot because you can tell when you're reading something that was AI written. Yeah. So take advantage of that. So yeah. There's a couple of more plugins coming in. I don't know if you guys, and we'll touch on that in a minute. On Remind is adding a couple of more plugins to their algorithm that projects people that are gonna sell. So if you haven't been playing with Remind, I highly suggest make that part of your daily to do. For those that don't know what Remind is sort of a tax database of homes. So it's a great way to build a database of homeowners or prospective sellers. You can literally search and filter for prospective people that the system thinks are going to be sellers within the next 3, 6, 9 months. It gathers all of the data of those people and it gives you a ranking of who's a hot seller, who's a warm. So if you're gonna solicit somebody, you might want to reach out to people that are already thinking of selling, right? So if you are, I think everybody's fascinated by what I got in the back. Cruz is completely into it. I mean, he's like, wow, okay. Está bonito. So, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening with AI and with things that will help you be more productive because the last thing you want is to solicit someone that is not going to sell. If you get someone that just bought a house a year when it's not going to be selling, then what's the point? So I think that part of the components they have added to it is the 3Ds. Anybody knows the 3Ds? Come on, everybody knows the 3D. Diapers, death, and divorce. So Remind has access to all of that data. So I think part of that data has been included, right? So I have a question. A data side Joel with a question on the Zoom. Joel, you still there?
I am, Ernesto.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
You're good.
Question. So what provider, do we sign up for AI or,
I will say, I mean, the simple one, I will say jump in with ChatGTP. Begin to use the free one. See how much usage you're giving it if you're not using it all the time. I mean, I have it on my phone, so I use it all the time. So begin with a freebie, see how much you're working out of the freebie. The paid subscription is about $20 a month, but don't jump into that if you don't think that you're gonna be using it all the time. But at least Joel, begin to play with a freebie and see how much you use it.
but in regards to what you said, the one that reviews what you have written in the past or the videos or whatever, that
To
sounds
begin
like
to act like you need to already have a paid subscription.
okay,
But
so that's
you
a
know,
paid subscription.
yeah, it's not a paid subscription. But you can. It's remember it gives you back what you ask. So whenever you're gonna ask for something, like if you're gonna do marketing for your social media, I will act as a marketing agency and design a campaign or post for this week based on the most recent positive news on the real estate market. Like something like that, then it will give you a response as if it was a professional marketing agency. As instead of just give me posts for this week, you're telling it to act like a professional marketing. Like if you're gonna write a response, you're gonna fight with another realtor, act as a lawyer and write a reply when I tell this other realtor to go fly a kite in a nice legal way. So
Gotcha. Okay. I saw Marcelo says that Joaquin does something in regards
and
to
yeah, Joaquin does a bunch of classes on AI. He's done a bunch here in the office. He's done on the weekends after hours. So
okay.
look out. He'll probably put something now on the WhatsApp chats or his next upcoming class.
Great. Thank you.
No problem. All right. So then, for those that know me and those that know I'm getting to me for the first time, to me, real estate is very simple. It's a rule of 20-20-20. For if you're attending the Buffini class has a lot to do with that. The rule of 20-20 is you need to add to your database, to your Bold Trail. Anybody know who Bold Trail is? Everybody knows what Bold Trail is? No, you don't count. Anybody knows what Bold Trail is? I got 2. I got 3. I got 4. If you have not logged in, you have not seen the name change. It changed names a month ago. Bold Trail. Bold is very bold. So Bold Trail. Okay. So on part of the 20-20-20 rule is you need to add on a daily basis. If this is your career, this is what you want to do for a living, if this is what you chose to do when you get up this morning and for the rest of this year, one of the daily tasks you need to do is add 20 people to your database. Begin by the 20 people that live in this magic black box that all of you have. Because if you look, all of you have over probably 500 contacts in here, right? At least 706. Okay, you counted them. All right. So once you added those, you want to add other people. Remind is a great tool for you guys to pick an area or a neighborhood and do a search, export that, and you can put that 20 people on your database. I'm not going to ask you to make cold calls, so don't relax. I see hesitation in the room. I'm not asking you to do that. However, you need to reach out to these people. Through Bold Trail, you can text them individually or email them individually. I will say text because text is getting like an 85% ratio of opening versus email is barely 14%. So everybody's opening their text messages. So look at a neighborhood, look at a building, look at an area where there's activity and go to Remind, take 20 and add 20 every day. So your first task of the day is literally to find 20 people to add to your database every day. And if we do that for a whole year, Saji, how many do we have? Okay, a lot. The answer is a lot. Okay, the answer is a lot. I want to wait for someone to do the math for me. Huh? 320? 720. So you will have on year one 720 people on top of the people that you already have. At the end of the year, you add 20. I'm asking you add 20 a day.
Yeah, you have 7,300.
7,000. How many?
300.
Okay.
And that's so the answer is depending how much you work, how many days you work. So if you work 5 days a week,
I didn't say to call anybody. Did I say call? Did anybody hear me say call?
No.
If you do, I will be very proud. But what I said is let's add 20 people to your CRM every day. Now, when you begin to add 20, you're going to run our neighborhoods. So use your tags to pick the neighborhoods. So you know when you look at that person, you know, oh, I'm doing Poinciana. Okay, and this person's left. This is my people from Poinciana. This is my people from Oak Hills. This is my people from Sweetwater, right? So you're not go bananas. So if you're beginning, get organized and do it right from the beginning. The second one, my friend, is yes, I am going to ask you to call people every day because believe it or not, you chose to be in what career? And to be in sales, sales is a contact sport. And I don't mean contact, I mean contact. You got to make contact. But I'm going to make it easy. And I just gave you a trick to deal with people that mistreat you, right? See? Begin by talking to 5 people that you know every day. You're already doing that. You're already talking to people every day, right? I assume because, right? So begin by talking to 5 people that you know every day. If they're homeowners, even better. If they're renters, even better. So have 5 conversations. Hey, Adriana, how are you? Long time no chat. I hope you had a great new year. Hey, I was just catching up to see how do you guys do over the holidays and what plans do you guys have for 2025. And then she's going to... Fantastic. Listen, it was nice catching up with you. If there's ever any questions you have regarding real estate, let me know. If any of your neighbors or coworkers have any inquiries about real estate, I will appreciate a referral. Adriana, after this conversation, I'm going to email you a valuation of your home so you know what the values in your neighborhood are in case you guys want to know how much equity you guys have saved up in your house. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye. I didn't sell anything to Adriana. I didn't ask her to move. I just had a conversation because these are people that you know. If they're homeowners, yes, send them a valuation report. And people like to hear how much equity they have, not how much my home is worth. Because equity means cash that they can tap into, right? So second thing I'm going to ask you to do is contact people that have either you have worked with, met at an open house, right? Because if you don't have a book of business, what is the best way to build a book of business? Okay. Do we need to stand up again? Do we need to do the jumping exercise? Yikes. Okay. So the 20 conversation is 5 people that you know, 5 people that you met at preferably at an open house or that were referred to you, right? Or 10 people that are newly added to your campaigns. Now, those 10 people, yes, it would be great if you call them, but if you don't want to call them, hey, it's Ernesto, your local realtor. I saw that your home in Tamarindo Way. It's appreciated and valued tremendously. Do you mind if I send you a valuation of what your house is worth? Who's this? It's Ernesto Vega, your local realtor. You can do that directly from Bold Trail. You can type it and send it. If you want to make the calls, Bold Trail has a built-in dialer, so you're not doing this. You just literally turn on the dialer and the dialer dials the people until they answer and it connects them to your cell phone. Everybody knew that, right?
It's part of it.
That's already there.
You just have to download the Wall Trail app on your phone.
Yeah.
And then you can connect.
I guess I'm gonna bring Monica this week over here. Yeah. So if you don't want to dial because it's exhausting to press numbers, fantastic. Turn on the dialer, and when you have your fifth conversation, don't press dial anymore, because the database is gonna keep dialing people until they answer, and then transfer them over to you. The other 20, September 2020, the other 20 is social media or direct messages, either your Facebook or your Instagram friends. Same thing, a simple message. Hi, it's Ernesto. I've been running updated home reports for homeowners like you and your neighborhood. Would you like to know what your property could sell for in today's market? It is quick and free. Send me a message and I'll send it to you. So people love social media. All of you are in social media all the time. So use your direct communications for social media. Now, that one, expand outside your sphere of influence. Look for people, connect with people. Don't connect with realtors and mortgage brokers. If your feed is all realtors and all mortgage brokers, you need to start unfriending every single one of them. Because now is not going to refer me a buyer. She's not. She's a realtor. So why, so your database, your social media needs to be people that are going to bring business to you. Just like when I see you all going to realtors event and mortgage broker events, I'm like, there's so many events out there. Why don't you spend the time interacting with regular folks, not realtor? So use your social media, use your direct message from Instagram, and connect. Of course, I gave you a very boring script. If it's someone you know, even if it's someone that you haven't connected to in years, make it a little more personable. That's where AI comes in. You can say, hey, write me a message that I can send to this person that I went to high school with, and I just want to say hello. Got it? Good. So that is my 20-20-20 rule. And it still applies in 2025 as it did many years ago. Now, with all of these things that you're going to send out, the reason why I want you to interact with Bold Trail is if you're doing this out of a piece of paper or out of a notebook, right? You did your 20 things today, and your 20 things today, and your 20 things today. And then when people reply back, what way is it to track it? Because today is very simple because you only did 20. But when June comes around and you have been sending 20 messages a day, right? 20 text messages a day and having 20 conversations a day, how do you know who to follow up with? Imagine if there was a system that looks at engagement and tells you every morning who you have to talk to. Thank you. So Bold Trail based on engagement. So if I'm sending these reports out and I'm sending this information out, people are going to be clicking and coming back. And they're coming back to your site because you send in the report is bringing them back to your site. Then the system will tell you who to talk to every day. Who's been looking at listings, who's been looking at reports, all of that good data. It does it for you automatically without you having even to think about it. Even if you're super organized, there's no way to, right, who had the calculator out? Saj, you had the calculator out? All right, so you did 20 text messages, 20 direct messages, and 20 phone calls today, right? How many people have you contacted by April 30th?
Like 3,000-ish?
3,000-ish?
Yeah.
Is there a way, because I know you're organized, to keep track of those 3,000 people? Is there any other way? Right? Because something's gonna fall through something, because they are gonna get inquisitive when they get that report from Saji of what the house is worth. Now, if they text Saji back and Saji didn't look at it, they also happen to know Sandra. And Saji didn't reply, so they're gonna say, hey, Sandra, this realtor sent me this report that my house was worth $2 million. Is this true? And she's like, Well, I don't know if it's true, but why don't we do something? Let me go by your house. Let's take a look at it, and then we can see the values together. Because she's not gonna tell her over the phone, yes, it's worth $2 million because the conversation is dead. She's like, let me go over. And then Saji, a week from now, is gonna see the house listed for $2 million and he's gonna be pulling his hair. Like, oh my God, that could have been my listing. But by not being organized, there's no way we can stay on top of it. That is it for my Motivation Monday for my Zoom group before I stay here with the people in Weston. Any questions, Coach? Nada? If somebody's
all
nervous
good.
over there.
All good.
Good.
20 contacts a day.
Information when they call me back. What did you can say?
I'll go to you in 1 second. Anybody else in the Zoom? Anything else? No? There was a question there. So the BOI filing, Marcello, I believe it was postponed. Let me Google that and get back to you, but I believe it was postponed. And I recommend to start ChatGTP. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your week. See you mañana and Ask the Attorney.